Bear and Obsession literally had red flags in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and some of you still think Nikki's a crazy one, so we're gonna go through all of them so you guys can hopefully clock it. Spoilers ahead. The movie begins and we see Bear's cat died, and he of course is crying. What does he do to make himself feel better right after? He stalks Nikki on social media, which shows this is not a casual crush. Even though the diner scene a few minutes ago, it made it seem very wholesome and very cute that he was trying to find a way to ask her out. It was a beautiful scene, but then a few minutes later, he's all of a sudden stalking her. That's the first red flag. The second one comes when his friend's telling him in the car, "It seems like you're taking advantage of her, bro." And what does he do to try to fix that? He calls the One Wish Willow Company, not to cancel the wish, no, but first to alter it, because he wanted to make sure that he wants to change it only so what his friends wouldn't be suspicious or notice it, but still finding a way to take control of her and make sure she's still obsessed with him. The third red flag is in the same exact scene. After he calls the telephone company and they ask him, "Do you want to hear real Nikki?" And he's like, "Okay," and you hear her absolutely screaming in agony and pain. That was the first time we actually got a little glimpse of what Nikki, the real Nikki, was going through, and he sees that as well. And what does he do about it? He just ignores it and tries to move on like nothing happened. At that point, everybody around him knows what's wrong. Nikki knows what's wrong, his friend knows what's wrong, he knows what's wrong, everybody knows, but he fails to acknowledge it because he's in this delusion of, I still have to have control of her, which is truly terrifying. And the final red flag to me, which is the worst one, is when they're both sleeping and he's about to go to meet with Sarah, and while the demon Nikki is sleeping, the real one wakes up and asks him, "Can you please kill me?" He frowns and is upset and asks her, "What would be so bad if you were with me?" And she's like, "We were never together." And then he just leaves. He literally spoke to the real Nikki after all the insanity, the craziness, and still decides to proceed with it, showing how much of a horrible person he was. It was always there, just hidden, very subtle in every single scene. It truly doesn't get much worse than that, besides that his actual name is Bear, and that should have been our first red flag from the start.